Hey, howdy, and welcome all to the Big and Bright Podcast. My name is Nick. This here next to me is James.
Howdy.
Well, we all have black sheep in the family, right? We all have
African American sheep. Yes.
That's not what I meant, but also not at all relevant to what we're talking about. The fact is that every single group, no matter how proud you are of belonging to this group, you've got that one just kind of little thing that's a little prickly, and you don't really like to talk about it. You kind of keep them in a corner and just say, let them chew on crayons, right? You know, for example, America. Great country. Love America. Proud of America. Los Angeles, Detroit, they can be in the corner.
I'd rather than just kind of...
We don't talk about them.
Yeah.
Right? We don't talk about them.
Yeah.
We don't talk about Bruno. Every family's got a Bruno. Right? Texas. Great state, Texas.
Best state.
Best state in the entire country, which is a great country.
Yeah, we're the best country.
That's right. Best state in the best country. But then we got Harris County.
Yeah.
And
Travis.
And Travis County.
Ugh.
Travis County as well, right?
Ugh.
But you kind of want to make these guys just, okay, you go over there and keep eating paste, Harris County. We're going to...
Well, it's organic.
We're going to sit here at the adult table, and we're going to make sure that everything runs smoothly, and you guys go over there and talk about global warming, and we'll all be...
Yeah, in your oil city.
Yeah. We'll all be super happy, right? Down there with you Houstonians. Well, anyway, you might not have remembered, we had an election a while back.
We did.
We had a primary election.
Yeah.
Right?
Still kind of an election.
And there were some
antics?
Yeah, some antics, some
curious things going on.
Some shenanigans, as one might say, with the folks in Harris County, specifically with what was her name? Yes, Longoria, right? Specifically with the commissioner, right? The Harris County commissioner.
She botched her job.
Last name is Longoria. What was her first name? Do you remember her first name?
She was that bad. I think she gets the last name.
Yeah, I don't know. It was Longoria. She had one job, and I'm trying to look now.
The first time.
Isabel, that's what it was. Isabel Longoria. Yeah. Isabel Longoria, you had one job, and not only did you botch it, right? So to botch something is to make a valid attempt at doing it correctly.
Yeah, I was mopping. I knocked over the bucket. That happens.
That's a botch, right? This was not a botch.
You just walked away.
This is bad. This is real bad, right? The reality is that there were how many uncounted votes? Over 10,000 uncounted ballots.
Yeah.
Right? 10,000 uncounted ballots. And now there's further allegations that are coming out that they were intentionally sending malfunctioning voting machines to certain places. That's not a botch, okay?
Do they happen to be the only small red areas?
Yes, the very small red areas in Harris County.
Look at that. It's
you
weird.
know what?
Just so curious that it happens to be this two neighborhoods.
Color me surprised. Well, now so Isabel Longoria has turned in her resignation.
Yeah.
Right? But there's an issue. Because you see, we have some primaries coming up.
Yeah, because there were runoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't get it over 50%, you have to go to a runoff.
I meant runoff.
Yeah.
It's a primary runoff, so I was half correct, right? But
still full wrong.
I disagree. Nonetheless, runoff elections happening. And it just so happens that Isabel Longoria said she's not going to go into retirement until after the runoffs.
Yeah. You know what? Maybe we'll do it right this time.
So
let's just see what happens.
This lady, who at best is terrible at her job, and at worst is an active malicious actor, is coming back and saying, well, I'm going to...
Round two.
I'm going to do it again. Right? This lady reminds me...
Okay. I have a point on that.
Okay. This lady reminds me... So did you ever watch Parks and Rec?
Yeah,
there's that councilman on Parks and Rec that's always caught in those scandals.
Oh, the sex scandal?
Yeah, he's always doing
starts with the D, something like that.
Yeah, Dexhart. Councilman Dexhart, right? He's always in a scandal, and then he always finishes with, however, I have no plans of resigning.
And that's they vote him in again.
That's this woman. That's this woman. She gets caught in this just unbelievable dumpster fire of an election, and she's like, well, I did all this stuff, and some of it was really poorly done, and the rest of it was done with malicious intent. However, I have no plans of resigning.
Yeah.
You know, so
there's even a women's group who did like a little dinner for her, like congratulating what?
For what?
Well, she's a woman.
You
born that way. I don't get it.
You gave it the old college try.
I don't think she went to college.
Anyway, I feel like I missed it. You were going to make a point. And I missed
no, to me, she just reminds me of that boss at any kind of company, usually a small company. They hire their kid or something. They never do it right. And for some reason, no matter how crappy they are, you never get fired. Kind of like Michael Scott with his nephew for a little while. He was terrible.
Yes.
I mean, eventually he had to, spank him, and then he actually fired him. But took a long time. This one's basically like, yeah, you can resign after the election.
So 2 employees of the election, just so we know what's going on, right? There was Jeremy Gant and Abby Ashison. They described issues with the election polling, such as knowingly sending malfunctioning equipment to polling locations.
That could have happened to anybody.
Not providing adequate staff for training. Conducting counting activities out of sight of required cameras for the live streaming process.
Whoops.
Right? So in state elections, it is required that all counting be done in a live streamed video.
Why?
Right? Because there might be some shenanigans.
No, I fully trust people to count the other side's votes to make sure that it's even and fair.
Very well. Well, you can go to certain counties in Michigan and Georgia,
Pennsylvania.
You can go live there. All right. But the reality here is that all this is happening. So what's happening now? The GOP, right? The Texas GOP.
Oh, are they pouncing?
They are pouncing.
Oh,
right? They have pounced.
Those despicable GOPs.
They're seeking to have a state-appointed special master for Harris County elections. And guys, I cannot tell you how frustrating it is to not know what a special master is for Harris County elections.
Yeah.
To the best of my knowledge, just reading this article, which by the way, links in the description. By the way, like and subscribe. We're on Twitter. Get it done.
Yeah. Hey, we actually did it this time.
We did it. Yeah, a little late on there, but we're getting there.
What? It's just 7 minutes in?
Yeah, we're getting there, right? I cannot tell you how frustrating it is to not know what this thing is. The best I can see is they just call this person a special master, and it's just somebody that's going to watch Longoria.
It's basically an interim manager until they find a new one.
Yeah.
Basically.
So,
just fire her.
Yeah.
There's, millions of people in Harris County? You can't find one person like, yeah, I'll do it.
Can she be fired? Is the commissioner fireable, or are they elected?
After that, you're fireable.
Yeah.
That's enough good cause.
Are they elected? Yeah.
That's enough good cause.
I don't know if you can impeach their person if they're elected. I'll have to investigate.
On what reason? I got 10,000 of them right here.
Yeah. 10,000.
All right, maybe there's a few. A little more than a few.
Yeah. There's a bit.
You know what? Just count to 1,000 on your fingers, and you'll know there's a little more than a few.
Here's the thing about 10,000.
It's a nice round number.
Harris County. Okay, so 10,000 ballots is a lot, right? I'm not in any way excusing this.
Let's agree that's a lot.
There's several million people in Harris County.
Yeah.
Houston's a massive city, right? Mm-hmm. With massive people.
Yeah.
Right? And a massive amount of massive people.
The bigger highways.
So when you go to Houston, there's nothing but traffic all the time. And you think that humidity there is coming from the ocean? No, it's coming from all the fatties that are walking down the sidewalk sweating. That's where all the salt in the air comes from.
Well, the mouth breathers, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I don't mean to disparage everyone from Houston, except for I do. But the point
You know who you are.
I work with several people from Houston. I might not have a job tomorrow. Here's the thing. When you're talking about this in Houston, 10,000 ballots is I mean, gosh, it's got to be a small percentage.
And that's just like the one they just do the approximate. It's like 10,000 some change, but still, once you get 10,000, like, all right, bro.
10,000 is enough to sway one particular, two particular, maybe five particular stations in Harris County. That's enough to motivate Harris County. Now, the fact here is this. Is it likely that if Harris County elections were done just by the book, that it would have changed the way Harris County voted?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Pretty blue.
Here's another thing. I don't care.
Yeah, no.
Right? When you have this level of either incompetence or malice happening at elections at the state level, get rid of them. They're done. Sorry, you're done. We're not. Nope.
Just imagine if it was the GOP, and I hate that freaking phrase. Like, just imagine if it was the other side.
Yeah.
But we all know what would happen.
For sure.
Like, it's so ridiculous. I mean, talk about incompetence for Harris County. Their judge can't even get together. What's her name? Linda Hidalgo?
Hidalgo, yeah.
Hidalgo. I'm sure I'm botching that too. It's probably pronounced differently.
No, it's Hidalgo.
Anyways.
There's a movie about it with Viggo Mortensen and a horse. Anyway, Linda Hidalgo.
And a horse. She is facing a lot of flack right now because her whole office basically is under investigation. 3 of her staffers are basically have 1 to 2 counts of felony for I believe it's what is it? For misuse of official information and tampering with the government record. Still in Harris County, by the way. And it's weird how they think she's up for an election. So I wonder if those 10,000 votes made sure she stayed there.
Maybe.
But she, of course, is coming out and saying these are all fabricated. That's the right words you want to say whenever you're on investigation.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really odd that three top people did it, and it was basically for giving a contract to for COVID-19 stuff, which we all know is BS. But she gave it to a person that basically worked with Democratic campaigns, so it kind of looked a little suspicious. And of course, the article writes it, as I said earlier, the Republicans pounced. Oh, here we go. Yeah, Republicans pounced. Or this is very easy to say, hey, this is news. This is actually news.
Yeah.
And you don't want to cover it, but you have to. So here we are. Well, I mean, she's saying, like, you can indict a ham sandwich. Yeah, you can. But you also, I probably can expect that when it was the other side and they were indicted, see, obvious corruption.
And also,
when it's on your foot, it's kind of weird, isn't it?
You can indict a ham sandwich. We're not talking about a ham sandwich.
No, we're talking about you.
3 ham sandwiches.
Yeah. And
right?
you,
3
who are in the
top
mix,
employees.
because, by the way, you're the manager of them.
That's true.
And if they're doing jobs and they can connect it to you, just imagine how many cases are going to be overturned because your fingers touch them. Remember when we talked about that one guy, that one judge, and I think it was with George Floyd because it happened to have some kind of corruption. It's like 3 or 4 of those cases kind of had some it was a cop.
Yes.
It was a cop. And some weird cases like, well, it's kind of some weird evidence. They say, what? That was 3 out of thousands. This is their top dogs directly underneath her.
Yeah.
That just happen to all have 2 felonies.
However, she has no plans of resigning.
No, she has no plans of resigning. But she gets elected, so let's see if she gets elected again. Probably. Because, again, she's blue.
Speaking of judges, we've got a judge also in, where is this judge going? This judge is, what's this guy's name?
Oh, you mean Judge Sean Jordan?
Sean Jordan, yep.
In North Texas?
Now, Sean Jordan's a judge we like. Right?
Yeah. Guess who appointed him? Here, I can guarantee you know who appointed him.
Would that be Judge Greg Abbott?
No, you can't. It's a federal judge.
Oh, it's a federal judge?
Yeah. District judge.
Joe Biden.
No.
Donald J. Trump.
That's right. Oh, yeah.
DJT 45.
And, of course, they're saying, of course, a Trump appointee is doing this, blah, blah, blah. Well, you know what? You really want to gripe about it? How about you get onto your buddy Obama? Because Trump put, according to Pew Research, 226 federal judges on the court. Obama put 320 in 8 years.
Yep.
In 4 years, Trump put 226, and actually just really 3 because COVID-19 kind of screwed up last year, so they weren't really doing a lot. So, yeah. That's on you for not doing your job. He knew what the job was and said, you know what, I'm going to take advantage of this because I have the votes. You had the votes in 09, 10, 11, and you didn't do a dang thing. That's on you.
That's true. Well, anyway, this federal judge is saying that it is not constitutional.
Boom.
Love those phrases, right? To charge out-of-state Americans higher tuition costs at state colleges than undocumented students.
Yeah, they're being nice. Illegal immigrants.
Illegal immigrants, right?
Illegal immigrants.
So illegal immigrants are being charged lower tuition than people who are out of state, right?
Legally.
Which is just... Now, here's the question. And this, we're going to get philosophical for a second.
Uh-oh.
This is obviously important because a lot of these immigrants are going to Texas schools, right?
Yes. They have some requirements, but yes.
Do you think it should be legal for an undocumented immigrant to even attend, to even enroll in a state college?
They're willing to pay for it, fine, because possibly they can get a degree and become a useful person in society. But they're not going to get a cheaper rate either.
Okay, I'm going to say this.
But I'm also not going to stop the police who happen to do a little knock, knock, knock. Oh, paper? None? Bye. Oh, sucks for you. You should have got a visa like everybody else did.
Here's the thing. I'm going to say this, and this is going to be controversial. Right? Private schools, sure, do what you want, right? State-funded colleges, no.
That's what I'm saying. If they're paying for it.
No. I do not want illegal immigrants attending state-funded colleges.
No, we do have a vote in that matter because it's state-funded.
Well, I know. Because here's the thing. State-funded colleges, yes. Well, what if they're paying for it? I don't care. That's a spot of enrollment that could go to a citizen that's being taken, and I'm paying for that school. So I'm sorry. I mean, and I understand. Do I understand the importance of a good education? Yes. Do I think it's important for people of any stripe, any color to get a good education?
No.
Mega important. Absolutely 100% important, right?
Nah.
Yes, it is. Okay.
Nah.
Say what you want about colleges, and I know that they're just indoctrination camps, and at this point, they're probably going to be obsolete here in a couple of years. But currently, there is a very high correlation between a college degree and your earnings in the future.
No, see, I just say no so that way I can pull the ladder up and be the only guy on top.
I'm sure you're welcome to do that. But the fact is, I think that education is important. Good education is important. Now, college degrees nowadays are becoming less and less meaningful, right? Because they're not teaching, what's the word I'm looking for? Facts. That's what it is. Yeah, they're not teaching facts in most college
Nick,
places.
it's your truth.
Mostly, it's just indoctrination. Mostly,
you know who wrote this law in?
Especially, who's that?
Rick Perry.
Oh, Rick Perry.
Rick freaking Perry.
Oh, Rick Perry.
Oh, he's conservative. He's this. That. Yeah, well, even conservatives have bad ideas because he actually is pretty conservative, and he had a bad idea with this one.
Mm-hmm.
We tried to get rid of it in 2011, but never got out of committee. Shocker, shocker.
I'm telling you.
So, no. You know, weirdly enough, we're the minority of states that do this crap. Because we did this, Dallas Morning News, of course, showing a huge hullabaloo, and they're, of course, saying any Democratic candidate they can. Like, do you hate this? Yeah. All right, there we go, rah, rah. Well, we're the minority. Mm-hmm. And it's literally going back to, we're just going to do the rest of the states doing. Don't do that. How dare you? How dare you with 19? So we're going back to the other almost 40 states. I'm sorry, almost just over 30 states. Yeah, no. Come on. Get out of here.
Yeah, this to me is a slam dunk. Of course it's unconstitutional.
Of course it's unconstitutional. And they're all PO'd about it. And you're like, well, the dreamers, Okay, average age of dreamers is somewhere in the 30s. All right? We're not talking about kids anymore.
Yeah.
All right? I'm sure there's some like, well, look, there's that. Okay, you found 5. I'm sorry. I'm not clearly correct. This is exactly what we did to Trump when he's like, when I said 455, it's actually 456, you idiot. Come on. You know the average. The average is well in the 30s, likely early 40s.
So I'm always confused about the dreamer. What technically classifies as a dreamer? Are we talking about a kid that was brought here? They were brought here as a child?
They keep changing the definition about it, but yes, that's the basic one, and they have so many exceptions to exceptions.
For a while
basically,
I was thinking
it's someone who was brought here. The border didn't cross me, or I didn't cross the border crossed me. Okay, you were brought here. Fine. Yeah. I've never even seen my country. Well, you probably should.
Yeah.
How long you been here? Over 15 years. You know where the immigration place is? Get in the freaking line. Are you kidding me? You can apply for a visa and get here for at least 2 years for workers when in that duration, at least put your name in the spot to then save you for not getting deported again and then go through the 5, 6, 7 year process. So yeah, it sucks, but welcome to America.
For a while there, we were referring to dreamers and it meant, I believe, and I could be wrong about this. And
when Obama did it illegally? Yeah.
Well, and it meant the dreamers, what that meant was people that were born here to illegal immigrant parents, right? And those people are citizens.
That was the sell.
Yeah, those people are citizens. So
yeah, they don't count, right? They're already born here.
But the reality here is, and you know, I hate to visit the sins of the father upon the next generation, but there are consequences to people's actions, right? And if we're going to talk about the consequences of history, we do that all the time when we talk about things like redlining and systemic racism. Right? Well, there are consequences to racism. Yes, there is. There's also consequences to people breaking the law. Yeah. And now, do your children have to pay for it? Yeah, but I mean, you broke the law.
Yeah.
This is the
reality. That was a whole beef about like why are kids in cages? They're not with their parents. Their parents still broke the law.
Yeah.
And they're in cages because they had nowhere else to go.
Exactly.
And now that there's more in cages, you make sure there's no cameras down there.
Well, the thing is, why aren't they with their parents? Because their parents are in jail.
The parents are the felons.
Yeah, the parents are in prison, and we don't want to send the kids to prison.
We're trying to contact family to go back because a lot of them here are not here for political asylum. They're here for economic asylum. That is not the same thing. That means you get in line and do the thing. I know it's tough. I know your country may suck, and I feel for you, but you have to do it the right way.
And here's the thing. I understand that we need to make some accommodations for dreamers, and maybe those accommodations, this is where I'm willing to go, we find a way to fast track their immigration process, right?
I've always been a proponent about if you want to really come here, then you know what? Join the military for a certain period of time. 1, they'll teach you English. 2, you'll have a good job and get at least decent health care for your family and for yourself. If you're especially a veteran, for life for you. So that's pretty good. And then after a certain amount of time, you're a citizen. That's not that bad. That's actually pretty good.
That's not bad.
We're giving you basically saying, here's a job where we just give you food. We don't have to worry about cooking or anything. We'll just give it to you. And you're going to have your training and all that. And your family will be taken care of. I guess that's the whole point, right? You're taking care of your family. Well, welcome back.
The fact is, we got to figure out what we're going to do. And I don't think charging them lower tuition than out-of-state citizens at our college.
If you're going to college, you're aware you're not here legally because all of a sudden those little stuff with your FAFSA and everything else you turn in, you're like, what's your Social Security?
That's a very technical situation.
And sure, some are given Social Security numbers, and I get that. Some actually do pay federal taxes. not state, still can't vote because you're not paying state tax, can't vote. And that's the thing is that they want to be here, but they can't vote. It's like, then why are you even at the rally?
Yeah.
All right, like you can't vote. What are you doing?
Well, because the fact is that there's more to Texas politics, there's more to United States politics than just going and pulling the lever. Right. Yeah. That being said, you know what we should do the immigrants? We should send them to Washington, D.C.
We should.
You know who did do that?
Who did that?
Our beloved Governor Greg Abbott.
Oh, yeah.
They're talking about Greg Abbott. The wheeled wonder Greg Abbott.
You're talking about a little announcement he did that I told you was BS.
It's not BS. He sent his first bus full.
He sent 4 busfuls.
He sent 4 busfuls.
Actually, it's not busful. It's like 30 people.
Okay.
30 people.
That's 30 people that aren't in the state of Texas.
Yeah, no, when he did this, everybody's got rah. Now she's in a Nick. I was like, hey, look at this, you win. And he's like, that's right. And I read it again. I was like, wait, this is a report. What's the actual thing he said? Oh, right here in the 4th paragraph of his own thing. To board a bus or flight, a migrant must volunteer to be transported to show documentation from DHS. Oh, so to volunteer for it? Who's really going to go? Oh, at least 30 people.
Here's the thing. I like where his head's at.
Yeah.
All right. The other thing is, this is how it should be done. But I'll tell you in a second. So obviously you have to make this voluntary.
Yeah.
Because
people I'm actually kind of like,
I'm sorry.
Why not?
Okay. No, why not? Here's why not. Because everyone's got a smartphone now, and people getting drugged forcefully onto buses is not good imagery. Right.
Well, so everybody's smartphone because the government's giving them a smartphone when they get to America illegally.
No. What I'm saying is that everyone's a reporter now, right? And people are going to be recording police escorting people onto buses to take them somewhere.
Just play the Antifa route. Get a bunch of black umbrellas. Boom, you're blocked. Go.
That doesn't.
It works.
No, it doesn't.
Really? How many things you hear about Antifa from a left wing source?
We have plenty of things about.
No,
Antifa.
You hear it from a right wing source. You never hardly hear it from a left wing source. You know why? They block it. And they're like, oh, they want us to be nice, and so they do because their side.
Okay, but the fact is that we hear plenty about it from the right wing source, and you think the left wing's not going to be there reporting all over this?
Right, we're bigger. We eat meat.
The right wing, the left wing owns the news. They're going to report on this, and they're going to have images, right? Think about this.
Governor Abbott cuts them off.
They made a 24-hour news story over the way a particular border officer held the reins of his horse. You don't think that people being militarily or police escorted onto a bus to take them God knows where is not going to be...
You know where.
I know it. I know we know where, but the thing is, the fact is you're going to dump that chum into the water?
Yeah.
No.
Do it Biden style, middle of the night. No one's up.
Here's what you do.
3 a.m.
Here's what you do. You make it voluntary, right? But you do it at the border, right? Yeah. So they're at the border, right? You're caught by border.
You're just like sitting there like red rover. You crawled. No. You got to go.
This should be all people. Here's the thing. Everyone we catch at the border.
Just a vacuum cleaner.
Everyone we catch at the border. You say, well, can't send you back to Mexico because, of current Biden policy. So here's your options. You can go to jail or D.C. It's all voluntary.
It's true.
Where you want to go.
Yeah.
So that's what I do.
You have a choice, a bowl of dirt or bread. Which one do you want?
You chose bread.
Well, the thing is,
wisely, sir.
I mean, of course, the left wings hate this, and they're all hot and bothered. But I found Daily Mail right here. Psaki said herself, it's nice to see the state of Texas helping them get to their final destination as they await their outcome of their immigration proceedings. So even she's behind it. And by the way, they're shipping them in suburban New York, and no one's even paying attention to that. Yeah. But yeah, worry about Texas sending all 40 of our people that are well over millions. But, all 40 of them, let's get all hot and bothered about it. Yeah. It's a stunt. Of course, Beto's capitalizing, saying, look at this stunt. And we're also backing up the border with 18-wheelers because we're actually checking every single 18-wheeler. Mm-hmm. And, of course, they're losing their minds like this is going to cost $5 avocados. You haven't shown any proof of that. You're saying that. But it's funny, now you care about supply chain. But, Pete Buttigieg, you just pretending like that hasn't happened for the whole 2 years, haven't you?
Pete Buttigieg can't get his avocado toast.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Oh, no, I can't go to brunch.
You got to take paternity leave. There's nothing.
The thing is that Psaki says that, and you say, well, you can't, I was sarcastic. Well, I can't read sarcasm.
Yeah.
Well, she said it. Well, to be honest, I can't tell when she's saying it either because everything she says could well be sarcastic.
Yeah.
The stuff
she gets so mad when you ask her a real question.
That woman has to get up there and say.
Oh yeah.
I'm just like, man, you're good at what you do. That's the one thing. And
her job is to professionally lie for the president.
What she does is get up there and just sling crap, and she knows it. And you know what? She does a half decent job of convincing me that she believes it.
Yeah. She believes it because she's in her bubble. But yeah.
The point here...
You're still not as good as McEnany. She was awesome.
Oh, dude.
She lit them up.
Kayleigh McEnany is the best.
She was not afraid to answer tough questions. Or a real question, maybe.
Here's the thing about McEnany, right? I love Kayleigh McEnany, and I understand how this works, right? But the GOP loves to harp about how there's this circular door between the Democratic establishment and MSNBC, right? Jen Psaki right now has a deal. She's the active press secretary of the United States and has a deal currently with MSNBC to go on after she retires.
She's leaving the president to work for the president.
There's all kinds of, and rightly so. That's ridiculous, right? Where does Kayleigh McEnany work now?
I don't know.
She's a contributor at Fox News.
Oh, that liberal site.
I'm like, and I'm saying if we're going to make this complaint on the left, guys, let's not be quite so on the nose. I'm just saying. And I love Kayleigh McEnany. Got nothing but love for Kayleigh McEnany. But
I mean, they're taking care of them. They're not going to no man's land. They're actually going about a block or so from the White House. But of course, Biden's never actually there. He's usually in Delaware in the basement whenever his handlers let him out. Yeah. But CARECEN, not sure how to pronounce that. Yeah. The Central American Resource Center. They're giving them food and water. They're caring for them. They're saying, like, fine, do it. We'll just take care of people. All right, fine. This is what you should have been doing the entire time.
Here's the problem, though.
Why are you griping?
You're going to go to Washington, D.C., and they're going to want to go back to Mexico. They're like, this place sucks. We're going back to Juarez. You seen the crime rate up here? Yeah. This is ridiculous.
I just got my lunch money stolen. I didn't even have lunch money.
The point, friends, is that Washington, D.C. is a rat hole. But here in the state of Texas, we're shining a light in the darkness because we are the stars at night. We are big and bright. We'll see you next week, friends.